When I was a kid, nothing was quite so magical as Secret of Mana. No, not that kind of magical.
Fuck you!
Secret of Mana transported me into its world and made me want to explore the lush and gorgeous environments of the game. The Mana, or Seiken Densetsu franchise, was the first to truly mix the action elements of Zelda games with the RPG elements of Final Fantasy. From the music to the charming sprites, this fantasy dripped in atmosphere. It had it all. This game was so influential that you can see elements from it rubbing off on most modern action RPGs, from games like Kingdom Hearts to Dungeon Siege 3. Point is, if you had a sword, you ran around hitting things, and you leveled up, it was probably influenced by Secret of Mana. But, to talk about Secret of Mana, we have to first talk about its predecessor, Final Fantasy Adventure. Seiken Densetsu Final Fantasy Gaiden / Final Fantasy Adventure in the States, or Mystic Quest in Europe,
It had many names!
was released in Japan in 1991. While the gameplay may seem basic now, at the time it was revolutionary, especially for the Game Boy. I resent that. This game had action,
Adventure!
RPG elements, excitement! The story starts as your main hero recreates the scenes of Gladiator and Spartacus as a gladiator, and your best friend, Willie, dies. They got really creative with the names in this one, and it gets better. This sparks our hero deciding to escape from the arena and finds out his master, Dark Lord, is plotting to find the way to the Tree of Mana to get the mighty power to conquer the world. Yes, Dark Lord. And for some reason, everyone seems surprised they turned out to be evil.
Dark Lord is so cruel. I can't stand it anymore.
Really? Really? Because I had no idea! I mean, he comes from such a great family. There's his father, Murder Lord, his brother, Rape Lord, and of course their sister, known simply as Lord.
It will never be royal.
So the story wasn't the greatest, but the gameplay, music, and environments were cutting edge at the time. Your character received multiple weapons they could use, and each one had a unique ability that would help you solve puzzles. The axe could chop down trees, the whip allowed you to reach faraway platforms, and so on. The cast of enemies all had their own unique look and style, and most of them ended up making their way into Secret of Mana. Oh, and as it was a Final Fantasy spin-off, you could even ride on a chocobo. While Final Fantasy Adventure was a good game, it doesn't really hold up anymore, but what it did do was set the tone for one of Super Nintendo's greatest RPGs! Secret of Mana. Secret of Mana, or Seiken Densetsu 2, actually translates to Legend of the Sacred Sword 2. Because remember Seiken Densetsu 1? The game was released in 1993 to wide critical acclaim for its innovative and unique gameplay, as well as its fantastic art and music direction. This game was a masterpiece. You start the game as your asshole friends, Elliot and Timothy, are going treasure hunting for some shiny object nearby. In your rush to catch up with them, you fall off a log, crack your head, and die. Or somehow survive. As you attempt to get back home, tall grass is blocking your way, but lucky for you, a sword and a stone is right by. A creepy ghost calls you forth to pick up this very sword.
Well, I don't know about this, but maybe I did die.
And thus, with sword in hand, a serious concussion, and a means to get back home, it's time to push forwards and start the game. What manner of monster or beast lay ahead mean nothing now that you... Oh, look at the cute rabbit with its cute little face and floppy ears and...
Kill it! Kill it!
Candy. At this point, you're introduced to the combat mechanics of Secret of Mana. This revolutionary action RPG furthered the precedent Final Fantasy Adventure set. Your character mechanically controls similar to Link from A Link to the Past, yet unlike the Zelda games, you can level up. Your attack power was based on waiting for your stamina to recharge back to 100%, so you couldn't just whack an enemy into submission. Additionally, you could level up the various weapons you collect throughout the game, allowing them to charge up and unleash an even more powerful attack. Which, in short, made you feel like a badass. After returning home with the sword and the stone, you find out that it's the legendary mana sword, and legend has it, our village is finished if someone pulls out the sword. Shut up, Timothy! Your friends blame you for the sudden onslaught of monsters attacking the village when a sudden earthquake and mantis ant terrorized the town. After defeating the mantis ant, proving your worth and saving the village, the entire town rewards your efforts by kicking your ass out and leaving you to fend on your own. Yup, so after saving everybody, that's my reward. Luckily, your presence is requested in the water temple. It turns out the mana sword is losing power, and the only way to re-energize it is to travel to the various mana temples across the land and restore all of the various seeds of mana. With this in mind, you're tasked with heading to Gaia's navel. On the way, you pass through the town of Pandora, which is going through its own struggles. The people of the town get in the way. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me! Oh, and also the people of the town are mysteriously acting like zombies and heading to the ruins down south. And no one can seem to figure out where the source of the problem is coming from. Where could it possibly be? I mean, there's the town, the castle, the temple with evil demon statues all over it! The town, the castle, I don't know. Well, shit. Maybe I'll go searching another day. At this point, depending on your previous actions, you're introduced to one of the two other playable characters, the girl or the sprite. In the event that you meet the girl first, she'll save you from being eaten alive by goblins, and then later recruit you to help her save the man she loves, Diluc. Finally, a game that doesn't play on gender stereotype tropes. A game with a powerful female figure who saves other male characters, and a game where... teenagers. Know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So you finally reach your first destination, Gaia's navel, but upon defeating the Pina Colada boss... Seriously, this is the most delicious boss I've ever seen. You discover the first temple is closed off due to the power of Eleni, a nearby evil witch. You're then joined by another ally, the sprite. Hey, are you okay there, buddy? Okay, alright. And with that, you're introduced to another one of Secret of Mana's revolutionary design features, multiplayer and RPG. By having your friend pick up the second controller, they could also control one of the characters on screen, and you could cooperatively play together. Not only this, but by using a Super Nintendo multi-tap, you could play with up to a total of 3 people. So with party in hand, you head into the shady woods to find— Oh, that's so adorable! Murder it! Murder it! Oh, candy. Like I was saying, you make it to the witch's fortress and find Eleni, who's clearly the town gossip and can't keep her mouth shut. She immediately sends Diluc away to Thanatos and explains Thanatos is the head of a secret organization that intends to overthrow the kingdom. Shh. That's a secret. Oh, and apparently the ruins and temple south of Pandora is where Thanatos is located. Well, at least she solved that mystery. After defeating Eleni's pet cat, she promises to ditch her evil ways and clears the way to the Earth Temple. Along the way, you harm more defenseless animals to learn water magic, and eventually defeat the boss Fire Gigas, allowing you to restore a second mana seed and learn Earth magic. The magic is divided up between the sprite and the girl, with the boy only allowed to use weapons. The girl's spells focus on defensive and support, whereas the sprite's spells focus on offensive. With magic in hand, it's time to finally head into the ruins. After facing off against zombies, flying swords, and tomato-headed things, you come face to face with Thanatos. He claims to be taking the life energy out of people so he can create a new peaceful world and resurrect the Mana Fortress. And with a face like that, I believe you. He drops you into a pit to face off against a giant wall. Stone. He runs away. And with that, it's time for you to travel to far-off locations to find more mana seeds and stop Thanatos from resurrecting the Mana Fortress. But the Highlands are pretty far away. If only there was a faster way you could get there. I don't know. Like, maybe if we shot you out of a cannon and aimed it at the right trajectory, you could reach that location. No, seriously, you get shot out of a cannon to faraway destinations. In the Highlands, you find the third mana seed and discover the sprite's family and race has been wiped out by the Empire and humans. They're breaking mana seed seals and stealing the sprite's source of life, mana, in order to build tropical resorts in the middle of an Arctic iceland and entire islands made out of gold. I mean, I would do it. From here, you make your way into the Mushroom Kingdom. No, this Mushroom Kingdom. And travel to the hot desert and Arctic icelands to find Salamando, the fire elemental. In the Arctic, you fight off the evil Frostgigas, who turns out to be Santa Claus? Who turned into Frostgigas because kids no longer believed in him. Santa's kind of an asshole. Meanwhile, in the desert, you fight off ducks and... Hold up. Yup, those are definitely ducks shitting out fireball eyeballs. You enter a sand ship and Sprite has, Sprite, you're supposed to do that in private, okay? You know what? It's time to get to the bottom of this. No more playing around. We're going to the Empire. You join the Resistance to fight off the evil Empire, and he offers a peace treaty. If everyone in the Resistance enters his castle all at once... No, it's cool. We cool. If everyone enters his castle all at once, they can negotiate together and... Okay, it's a trap. And somehow everyone seems shocked at this. But, like a true badass, you bust your way out and leave via your new friend, Flamey, aka a dragon. Now that's style. You thought flying airships were cool? That's because you've never ridden via a dragon. Now to go into the cockpit of our dragon and change our characters. So with that, it's off to investigate the Gold City, an entire island made of gold, which is literally sinking under its own weight. Here, the king of Gold City has captured a mana spirit in order to turn everything into gold. Meanwhile, the people living there are clueless, and we came to see if the king could give us some gold. Okay, really? The entire city is made of gold! Why not just take a fucking leaf or some grass? Here, have it. It's yours. Regardless, you rescue the mana spirits, Shade and Luna, then make your way to Say Jacques to train because for some reason, you're supposed to trust this thing! He spews some bullshit line at us like, your ears could hear but not your heart. Mr. Miyagi, is that you? Trained up and ready to go, it's time to find the final mana spirit and kick back against the Empire. You travel to the final mana palace where the Emperor and his soldiers, Fauna and Sheiks, are waiting for you. Sheiks transforms into an evil demon to... You fight a giant watermelon. You know what? Time for my final form! Because watermelons are scary shit! You would be scared! You would probably be alright, but you would be scared! After the deadly watermelon, you're forced to fight through motorized turtles, wolves called heckhounds, because, you know, hellhounds was far too racy, and birds. That shit centipedes. What is it with this game and poop? I mean, come on! It's clean family fun! You failed to stop the Mana Fortress from taking off, so you need more power! So you head into the Pure Lands in order to find the legendary Mana Tree. Secret of Mana once again shows off its incredible aesthetic as you travel through a lush forest tour. Oh, look at the... What in God's name is that? Oh, no, kill it! Oh, it's so gross! Now at this point in the game, you're pretty powerful. You should start to have your weapons leveled up and finally be able to unleash a level 8 weapon attack. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Just wait there for about 30 more seconds. Wait for it. I'm gonna get you. Oh, yeah!
I missed.
As you finally reach the Mana Tree and are about to ask it for more power, Thanatos uses the power of his fortress to destroy the tree. You then find out the Mana Tree is your mother and double twist! That creepy ghost at the beginning of the game? That's your father. With the last of her power, your mother, the giant tree, gives her life to restore your mana store to full power so you can defeat the Mana Fortress and save the world. It seems this news is a little too upsetting, but fortunately, the sprite is there to cheer you up.
This is nuts!
Thanks. I really feel better now. So with the sprite's words of encouragement, your team heads into the Mana Fortress. This is it. This is what you've been fighting for. You face off against Thanatos' elite guards. You know, crabs, turtles, birds that poop a lot, the usual. Only to find yourself face to face with Thanatos, who uses the last of his power to fight you as the most badass boss in the game, Dark Lich. And I'm being serious here. Listen to this music. Listen to it! That's some scary shit. That's how you design an epic boss fight. Lucent beam, lucent beam, lucent beam. Fight. With Thanatos defeated, the day is saved. Until that is, a giant mana beast attacks the mana fortress, which will apparently destroy the world. Okay, so the mana fortress is bad, therefore the mana beast will stop it. But if the mana beast stops it, that will be the end of the world. Therefore, you have to stop the mana beast, which means that the mana fortress, In the end, you defeat the Mana Beast and save the day. With both the Mana Beast and Mana Fortress defeated, the world is once again saved. And now, your village allows you back in. I wouldn't accept. With the success of Secret of Mana, Squaresoft had a new franchise and style on their hands. They went on to create Seiken Densetsu 3, which would never release to the States, and Secret of Evermore, a game with the exact same gameplay style and mechanics as Secret of Mana. The series continued with the fantastic and underrated PlayStation 1 game, Legend of Mana. All seemed good in the world of Mana until, well, the world of Mana. In 2005, Square Enix announced a new series of Mana titles that would ditch the action RPG genre and be referred to as the world of Mana. So get rid of every innovation the Mana series started. Brilliant! This led to games like Children of Mana and Dawn of... The entire game mechanic is literally, and I'm not joking here, it is literally based around the concept of seeing how well you can kick random items into the enemy. It's soccer mana. It's Dawn of... No!